Okay, just making sure the feed is working. Gonna work on this painting that I started the other day. Did a really fun underpainting and some cool metallic colors and lots of sort of blobby, swirly, painty stuff going on. Okay, checking the stream. Hopefully my internet's working. It comes and goes because the whole world is home streaming everything right now, so sometimes the streaming doesn't happen super well. Looks like it's doing good though. Yep. Okay. And I got the chat window open so I can read. I will not necessarily be super monitoring the chat. Hi, Kiara. But I will look when I can because I do actually have to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, and also I do have to stop painting around 4:30 my time here because I have a landscaper guy coming. That's kind of why I had to start even late, because I had an electrician coming to the house. Keep having all these technicians show up. And it just makes for a tough, predictable schedule. Okay, here's my bottle. One second, forgot one thing. Okay. It's nice to have some tunes playing. What's the name of the painting? I decided to call it One Last Melody. It's kind of like, you'll see when I fill in more of the piece here. It'll make more sense. There we go. Now I can see how many people are actually watching. Okay. Yeah, I started this one the other day as a really fun underpainting. That's not always everyone's favorite part of the painting to watch, so you might not have seen that one. There we go. Okay. This is a tough one. This one's going to be quite interpretive. I've got a photo reference, but I will be changing it quite a bit. Photo reference and sketch and such that I've done. I'm just filling in darks first. Okay. Now I won't be able to stream this thing end to end today. I'll have to stop early to go meet with this landscaper guy who's coming out. We're trying to have our yard xeriscaped. Or, you know, we've been considering it for a while. And this is finally someone's actually meeting with us to maybe help us figure this out. I gotta remember what a violin looks like. And then there's this cheek rest thing. Hey Matt, how's it going? Thanks for watching. I have this great under texture of this cool metallic sort of inspired paint. This might be a little low for those bangs. That's okay, her eyes might be like right there. Those could be eyes maybe. Can iron those out more later. I've also got an image of a sketch that I did. If you might have seen the sketch that I did. I know a band gallery posted it online. There's a concept sketch. Here we go. Where I've sort of ironed out some of these problems already. It's funny where it's so much more than just recreating a photo reference. There's a lot of other subtle things that happen. Like I had to establish what color things are. What color is, you know, flesh tone and shadow, and this particular person's flesh tone. And how much shadow is it actually in? Let's say. And forgive me if sometimes I'm just staring, because I have to think. It's not just about whizzing through a painting and you're done. Maybe a little bit. That's a little purple. Her face. Yeah, we'll just think of the whole face as one shape for now. And that's going to be quite right, actually. Because this is right next to the light source, which is this cloud. There's this hand. There's a cast shadow from the violin. Oh, that's cast shadow. Gonna be a much darker version of this color on her flesh. What is that gonna be? Hope you guys actually watch, like watching me mix the colors in the palette. That's an extra sort of length I went to set up a camera just for that. Diane says, thanks for doing this. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for watching. Glad you guys enjoy watching this, because it's really hard. And then here's this arm, this arm. I also have to negotiate some of the light diffraction happening around the brightness of these clouds and stuff. We'll say that's there. Plane change there. I'm sort of just going to piece this thing together. I've sort of got two versions of shadow on this, for this flesh tone. Yeah, here's where the neck and the violin meet. A little lighter for this. And then here's this hand, which I don't need to do yet, but I can just sort of mark that's where it is. She's also going to have a blue dress on. This is going to be shadow. Could make this arm a little thicker. Let's find that blue color. Green that out a little bit. It's underplaying there. I went a little far with this color. Can just sort of squash it away. Again, what I always love about doing these underpaintings in acrylic is that I can remove the paint anytime I want, and it doesn't disturb the brush strokes underneath. I need a slightly lighter version of that blue. Oh, it's nap time already. This is going to be more maybe of a green. We'll do it over here. A little more green. That's too yellow. With just a touch of sort of flesh tone underneath it. Just to dull that down a little bit. Here's my dark. A lot of these dark shadows are going to blend together. And she's going to need a collarbone eventually. Okay, looks like she's a little, I need to widen this just a little bit. I know she can have a thin waist, but that's getting weird looking. Bring this arm up through here. This will have some kind of a shadow there later. hair is going to come out a little further. Okay, so in about maybe an hour, I'll start streaming to Instagram as well. Alright, where's that lighter flesh tone I had? Was here. I love this. We're going to see a lot of light diffraction coming around this cloud. And this is definitely, I need to start carving this away now. Just to get the shape of that arm right. There's the elbow. A little more on this arm. Yeah, just blocking it in for now. Can come back in and render it nicer later. Here's this head shadow, might go a little further actually. Might render in those shadows a little more later. Chisel away that part of the hand. Show the wrist a little better. Make a little more thin, more supple sort of wrist. And this arc. And that's going to really blend with this arm. That light from back there. Not doing these clouds yet, just I'm still sort of carving away my positive space of this figure here. Come back and really hit those the cloud elements and stuff later. Getting the construction of these things a little better. I also should pull up a picture of a violin so I remember what that looks like. There's a very specific shape to this head. I don't think I indicated it right here. Everything changes when there's light coming behind it. There's going to be hair here. Sort of a topish ponytail hairdo there. There might be a little bit of a hip because we're looking down at her, so I need to maybe bring that out a little further. Okay. Oh, thanks for posting that there. The underpainting took me like a few hours. The underpainting was acrylic, and I'm painting now on top of it with oil. Okay, let me go take a nap. Let me pull up a picture of a violin. I thought I had one ready, but I don't. Just to make sure that I'm getting the details of this right. Whenever it gets there, because that's kind of important. Okay, that's helpful. And once I get the figure, the clouds and stuff should be fun. But the figure, I think, is always the hardest part. It's the part I have the least room for error. Sure, I can interpret and stuff, but the figure does have to look like a figure with all the proper, proportions and anatomy and stuff. What's up, homie? And Dave loves the Deadpool print. Awesome. Yeah, right. That's a fun little moment. Just a wacky Deadpool sort of concept. Oh, don't know why I'm so sleepy today. I wasn't up extraordinarily late doing anything last night. I did a little sketch. I typically do that kind of late, though. I like to be up late at night sketching. It's fun. Alright, I might have to start imagining some of this background color so that I can come over here. And get that proper. It's always about positive and the negative space. Gonna go back and forth and sort of carve it out. like a sculpture. And I do enjoy kind of being a little more interpretive with some of these pieces instead of being so literal. It's kind of fun to like be a little more illustrative and not so exact. A little more whimsical, romanticized with the colors and yeah, part of her arm will disappear into the light there. That's fine. If I do that right, it'll read nicely. It'll read like bright, brilliant light. And then this cuts off there. Let's get some more paint on this. Here. Let's do that same thing up here. Sort of transitional, really intense color here. Oops. Maybe there'll be a little bit of reflected light underneath here. Hello, black day, feel old, black days. I wanna know that this could be my fate. I wanna know that this could be my fate. Got a little Chris Cornell going on in here. Oh, so sad when he committed suicide. That was awful. The last song I ever recorded or played on stage was In My Time of Dying by Led Zeppelin. Kind of morbid, right? Even someone like that got his demons, you know. You wanted to see fly down so much. See, my paintbrush has turned into drum sets. So much shit on my change. Shit on my change. That's a little wider. I'm just sort of, yeah, I'm going back and forth. A little part here, a little part there. Oh, black days. I wanna know this could be my fate. How would I know that this could be my fate? How would I know that this could be mine? That this could be my fate. I kind of need a dark. All these darks kind of blend together. Dark brown, dark, sort of pink, whatever it is. For this violin, I just got to construct this properly. It's real dark underneath the chin. And she needs to have a chin. There's a little neckline there. There we go. Oh, that's part of her arm. Maybe someday we'll figure out how to stream my music also, so you guys we can rock out together. Got some Smashing Pumpkins going now. That's some old school stuff. I'll cast shadow from the violin on her arm. Here's a little bit of a crease right here, maybe, where this arm folds. Yeah, these little tiny subtle things add up quite a bit. All right, let's see if I can do a little face here without making her head too small. Let's get a smaller brush. She's gonna have her eyes closed. So I need some sort of this dark flesh tone. Let's say her eyes can be there. And there's a hair on there somewhere. I can see it. Hair or a bristle or something. And we barely see this one. It's mostly her head is sort of turned a little bit. And we're going to say eyebrows. We can see a little bit of those. That's that angle there. Where's, let's see, I'm going to need a smaller brush. Let's get rid of some of these that I don't need for this sort of her flesh tone sort of there. A little lighter. Okay, that's a little low. Need to make this lighter and what, more blue. Lift this eyebrow up. Yeah, I made that whole eyebrow and eye a little low. Not only do we see an eyelash, an eyelid, but we see this plane of the eye as well. And then we'll see this plane of the nose. Maybe not much of a mouth. Maybe a little tiny bit of sort of indication of like a little smile there. Let me out. Let me out. We'll soften that plane down a little bit. A little bit of a plane here. And we'll see just barely the side of the plane of that eyelid. That could be a little higher. Chin, a little more chin. Such a tiny little face. Maybe a little more cheek. It's great I haven't done it. This paint's all dry, so I can rest my hand here if I need to. We might see a little more just face in general here. Yeah, a little more rounded cheek on that side. And a little more forehead. A little bit. Yeah, just push and pull. Add a little, take a little away. Just a subtle indication of a smile there. We'll do a little more eyelash here. Now we need a little more nose. See if I can soften that. That globellum is too thick. That's the shape between your eyebrows. And I can raise that eyebrow up a little bit. It's kind of the nose plane turns into that eyebrow. Where's my white? Got all these different brushes, different colors on them. Let's say this hair could be down a little more. It's a little too hard chiseled. It's not quite what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. So now it looks like sort of strands of hair instead of like this solid chiseled bang. Such a tiny little delicate face with a subtle indication of a smile. Nothing too exaggerated or huge. Yes, thanks for posting those, Nick. Please follow our Patreon page, which is brand new. If you want to support me as an artist and us as a gallery, for just even $1 a month, you can support us, and we have cool rewards for different levels of your support. Definitely appreciate that. And we're working hard for you guys, doing streams like this, which is hard work. Instead of doing this whenever I want to, in the middle of the night or in the morning, or in my pajamas, or not having to talk and explain my whole process to everyone, and it's hard doing this. So we definitely appreciate you guys supporting us as we navigate this time with all y'all. You know, we'll have a little bit of a jawline. Softer cheek. A little bit more of a cheek up there. Here, why don't I do this? This camera's like getting the side of my nose and not as much of the painting, so let's do this. You guys can actually see what I'm painting and not my face, like super mega close up. That's gotta be weird, right? This way. There we go, that's a little better. Yeah, I gotta paint and do what I gotta do without touching any cameras or getting in the way of anything, and it's really hard. Painting is hard enough, let alone without extra obstacles like, oh, you have 4 cameras in your room now. The 4th is what will be going to Instagram later. So, yeah, incidentally, this painting is available, the painting and prints. Let's see. Yeah, there's links in the chat, or you can go to abendgallery.com for the original. And then if you're following us on Abend's site, just go ahead and message Dave there, and he'll take care of you. And then for prints, you can go to christopherclarkart.com. So there's that arm, a little bit of cast shadow by the lower arm there. Put a touch of crease there. A little bit of core shadow. Alright, I was doing her face. Took a break to work on something else. Okay, her cheeks are a little too hollow. Let's round those out a little bit. I might lose her little smile, but I can add that in again. Yeah, I want a little more substance to those cheeks. They're a little too hollow. I'm going off a reference and my sketch and sort of inventing this at the same time, which is hard. I want a little more roundness. Maybe a little more around the cheekbone up here. That's better. Kim Anderson, beautiful painting. Thank you so much. Thank you guys all for watching. Let's say this shoulder comes up a little bit more. So I gotta make sure, does this head, I gotta stand back and look. Is the head too big or too small? It can be a small little face, but it still has to be proportional to the head and the rest of the body. I suppose I need to bring in, see, I don't have this background color yet, sort of this orangey gold. I haven't had to use it yet, but now I do. And that's actually a lot more green This sunset's going to have, you don't think about it, when you look at a sunset, there's actually a lot of green in it. Green mixed in with the oranges. Can come in here a little bit and chisel out that lat's a little too big, and maybe the biceps there are a little too big. And I love what I've done with all these colors here. I don't want to cover all that up. So how do I paint it without covering up my great underpainting? I could chisel this arm in a little bit more. And I could bring this in a little more here. You know, it's hard to say, when does it look right? It looks right when it looks right. If it feels wrong, it is wrong. And if it feels right, it is right. It can be that simple. Here's the wrist. I want her to be, you know, a delicate little figure. My model, who is oftentimes my girlfriend, she's kind of athletic, so she's got some muscle. So I don't want necessarily all my figures to have muscle. A little bit, but you know, like normal person is fine. Not that Amber's the Incredible Hulk or anything by any means, but you know, she might have a little more definition than a lot of girls. I need to bring, I need a little bit of diffraction here too, which means some of that light is spilling over the edge. And I can come back in here and carve that. Might be a little more yellow, actually. Okay, thanks, Matt. Let's do that same sort of diffraction action. There, and that will also get some nice orange on it too, I think. Pink. Just because there's, especially when there's a lot of blood in an area, like usually the hands and any kind of extremity or joint, you get a lot of blood flow. So it definitely adds a warm reddish color. Doesn't matter what color skin you are. When something passes in front of direct light, you get a lot of red. Pink. It's kind of fun. Like look at someone, the most common ones you see is when someone stands in front of the sun or a light, look at their ears. Their ears are usually bright pink orange. Because you get a lot of blood flow and a lot of thin skin. And so you get a lot of that fun pink color. Those are always fun to paint. You really just get to take some hot, bright orange and just put it right on someone's ear. Okay, so by that rationale, she will also have some of this on her face. some of this bright. The face has a ton of blood flowing through it. So you usually get a lot of reds and things. A little lighter. Work on this eyebrow a little more. I want it to be a little up, like she's, you know, enjoying her music. There we go. Yeah, oh, those little tiny millimeters make such a difference. Little fractions of millimeters. Sometimes at 2:30. Okay, in about an hour I'll start the Instagram. My landscaper guy had to cancel on me yesterday. As I said, they're super busy. We scheduled it for today. I was supposed to have today completely free to do this. And that didn't exactly happen. So now I might have to like stop it, go do that, and then come back, you know, after dinner or something and do a little more of this. I can bring all this in a little bit. I meant to sort of connect this here, sort of a strap. Here's the other underside of the arm. And then here's going to be maybe a little bit of the collarbone there. And let's do some of that light refraction over here too. Let's do a little bit of this pink. On that side. And then come back with my dark blue, which is not dark enough at all. Okay, so I guess she's going to have sort of a neck part. I can start rendering. See, I'm just sort of moving around, going through the whole painting. I don't necessarily finish entirely one section before moving to the next. That way I can make sure everything's sort of done evenly. Yeah, here's where that dress sort of connects. Here's the shadow from the violin. Okay, a little too much shadow on this part of the arm here. I'm sorry, not nearly enough. It's going to be a little more there. And a little more of that muscle insertion. That's where the pack inserts into the bicipital groove. Yo. I got the bicipital groove. Okay, we lost her little smile. I will add it in. It's okay if you lose a little bit. You can just add it in again later. Don't ever paint around something like you're afraid. So all I need is a hint of the corner of that mouth, which stretches toward the nostril and down to the chin. Just a tiny little bit. The rest of the mouth might be flat enough where it's going to be the same value all the way through. Okay, let's see. Her neck, now that I'm noticing that, would be a lot thinner. Maybe to there. I don't want to make her shoulders too big. I'd rather her have a smaller shoulders and a longer neckline. And it's going to be a lot of hair back there anyway, so. Finally caught one of my live streams. Yeah, awesome. Glad you made it. I'm just realizing this cord is probably in your guys' way there. I keep that cord so I can take the camera off the little stand here and do a little tour of the painting if I need to, but then it's hard to get out of the way. Alright, let's see if I can maybe work on that hair a little bit. So many little things. Hair, gotta get her hands, you know, top polish up the top of her chest here, the violin, like all these little tiny things that take time. The dress will be, you know, the sky will be, you know, much easier. I can spend this month as long here as on the rest of the painting. Absolutely, easily could do that. Let's see, I want her to have sort of dark brown hair. Which will be the darkest here. Darkest there. Maybe not all of it is tied up in the ponytail. Maybe some of it's down like this. I had to invent a hairstyle too. I'm like, what am I, a hairstylist? You have to be. She's got some hair coming down. Here's those bangs a little darker. There will be a highlight on those, and they will sort of pass it in front of that cloud, the light there. Gives some nice contrast. It is much darker in the official terminology for my technique. Yep. Pretty much. It's I think Da Vinci coined that one. It's written in his notes and it's backward in Italian. It's, you know, ho fatto il quadro così con un settimana di dipingere e poi so you know it's real, it's legit. Maybe there's a tie, a little indication of a hair tie of some kind. Okay, where's my lighter flesh tone? Could push this up. Needs to be a little lighter than that. Want this to go down a touch more. And I could do a couple little highlights on there too. That could be cool. Now that I know where I'm going with it, it's time for a touch of highlight. Where you'd see it here. On the top of the cheekbone there. Maybe a little bit on top of the eye. We'd see some on the nose, faux show. Just a little tiny pink. How does one spell? I mean, I thought it was always LP, LP, LP. When I was a kid and I used to draw my own comics, if a character did that, it would always be LP, 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 LP. Maybe on her shoulder. A little bit of a highlight there. And then I need to round out these forms here. For boob, there would be a rounded up form there, touch of one there. It would come down there where the strap is. There would even be a little bit of a shadow here. Where it hits the collarbone. In fact, we might see a little bit of a collarbone. It's a nice detail. Don't I have another sort of medium colored flesh color for her? Not really. This dress thing might come up a little more. I want it to be rounded, like, because we're looking down at her. So I want this to round a little more. And maybe I'll bring this up a little bit. Sort of that plane change. I didn't intend her to be so incredibly well endowed. I can fix that here. Basically, it's these planes. Can be blended a little bit, and then this would come up. Now she's kind of petite. A little bit there. Which means this might be a little more. I gotta move the center line over a little bit. So let's soften this edge a little bit. Maybe we'll start to see this change here, plane change. I could go up even a little higher with this, because this is angling up. Yeah. That will also have some light coming around it. Maybe we'll go a little higher even still. There. Yeah, that's a little more appropriate for her size. There might be a little bit of a bleed coming underneath. That's how we can show that nice plane change. Let's bring this in a little bit. This is the bottom of this, the under side of her arm, which would, a lot of that would just be dark anyway. Sometimes you can just sort of poke the paint in there. Poke, get in there. This might curve up a little more. And then maybe I can reduce this arm a little bit. Okay. It's why I didn't intend her to give this giant pile of cleavage, you know, tiny indication there. Just want to be real subtle, and I don't like gratuitous, huge, voluptuous, like women in paintings. I think it's a little overdone. And especially since I've been now exploring the anime world, that is just rampant there, so I'd like to be a little more tasteful with it, you know? Let's say there's a little bit of an underplane sort of here, like a little bit of fabric or something. Okay, let's take that in a little bit. Just fix that edge. Okay, now I can do some of that fun light diffraction there. Gonna be a little yellow. There, and a little here. Got to clean the brush off every time because now it's got dark blue paint on it. Come back in with my lighter cloud color here. Soften that. Add a touch of like yellow. Some nice, really hot yellow. I can carry this a little further. Soften that. I'll make the fraction come a little more down there because of that plane change. Is this my dark green? Yeah. And I can bring this up so that's more angled. So I want the chest is angled this way a little bit. She's turning. This needs a transitional color of some kind. Maybe just a blue. Yeah. Good old Da Vinci quote. Is that how you spell it? THWWWP? Right. That's what I would have guessed. That's the Italian spelling. The Italians do have a word for, I don't know, or who knows, or whatever. Kind of a little bit of, you know, it's a but. It's like B-U, I think. You never hear about it in any kind of Italian class, or like, you know, a language course, but it's one of their very useful words. But it means like, who knows, subject over. It's a great, great word. You can say there's maybe a little bit of an underplane here. There we go. Yeah, now she's got, you know, some bosom, but not like buxom bosom. I don't want that to be a center of attention by any means. Or PBBBT. Yeah. Esattamente. Or just esatto. Esatto. 'Cause I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. Little hair going in front of the light here. Wanna be free about since we're doing hair, come up here and do this. What color is this going to be? This sort of hair highlight. Maybe I want it to be maybe a little bluish. A little bit of this. And then we get a little bit of that there. Maybe we can do a little bit more of an orange one somewhere. That's why I'm easy, easy like Sunday morning. So across the front there. Okay, I think I might want to put a whisper more of her mouth. So it looks like she's kind of like, you know, a tiny bit. We might see a little bit of the underplane. And this underplane. I'm just going to play with that. It's a little dark. We'll see a little bit underneath the bottom lip. And here's the top lip. Maybe a little higher on this top lip. And now I need another coming out the other side. It's a little tall maybe. We also might get a little more drop shadow from that nose. Touch more dark there. Oh, sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain, black old sun. Won't you come? Won't you come? Black old sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain, black old sun. Won't you come? Won't you come? A little more chin. And then let's... Yeah, tiny little face. Looks great, Chris. Perfect. Oh, should I stop now then? Let's push this down a little bit. A little more lip here. I don't want it to look like, you know, she's pushing it out. Cool, and I can do a fun little highlight on that lip too, even. Because it's pointing upward. Wash away the rain, black old sun. Won't you come? Won't you come? Black old sun. Won't you come? Wash away the rain, black old sun. Won't you come? Won't you come? Black old sun, won't you come? Let's do a little bit there, do it a little extra. And a little bit extra there. Coming from a mist of water, actually, not quite. She's, this is clouds, and her dress is going to disintegrate into birds flying away. So, you know, you're close. It is sort of a disintegration quality, though. So, yes. Okay, let's try to do, maybe I'll start the Instagram so that those people can watch as well. Since maybe in an hour or so my landscape guy might get here. They're going to be watching a lot of... Okay, I can zoom in a little bit there. Alright, pardon me, I should probably stretch a little bit anyway, since it's been like an hour and a half. Ugh. Let me raise this up a little. Is that as high as it goes? Oh, come on, there we go. Now that cord is in the way, I can fix that in a second now. Okay, yeah, I gotta... Sometimes you just gotta move away from the painting for a second. That's also when I can see things. Just trying to get a cord out of the way for the Instagram peeps. Okay, cool. That way. Okay, we're going to start that feed now. So if you follow a band gallery on Instagram, you're going to be getting that stream notification here. Hi there, guys. I'm Christopher Clark. I'm live streaming for a band gallery, doing a fun little surrealism painting here. This will be like the, I don't know, 8th channel I'm streaming on simultaneously, so yay, all the internets are watching. So feel free to comment. I'll try to look back when I can. I have 2 comment screens going on that I'm trying to watch, and I'm also trying to paint a decent painting, so it's tough. But feel free to comment, and I'll try to catch you. So let's see. If you guys, if anyone is interested in this painting, it is available. Just hit up Dave at A Bend Gallery. If you're following there, you'll know where he is. Let's see, that's actually going to be a little lighter. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a light, because it's catching some light there. This will be kind of this lightish, orangish, bluish something. And then the bridge comes up to like there, and I've got to like, how do you construct a violin? Let's make sure I do this right, because otherwise every violin player in the world jumps down you and says, that's not what a violin looks like, and they'd be right to do so. It comes like that. There's this bottom saddle here. And then here's underneath that neck, or the fingerboard comes across. It kind of... Hopefully I don't got to take too many liberties with this to match the figure that I've already set up. I think if it's painted reasonably well, I can take liberties like that when I want. And then this neck is not very long, so it's violin. We might not see much of that. We'll start to see the bridge, which is a little more yellow, not so red. So here's this. Boom, boom. Preliminary work. Bruce asks if I do any preliminary work. Yeah, a lot of this is underpainting that I did the other day. So yeah, there's a little bit of preliminary painting going on here. And now I'm doing the finishing painting today in oil. The preliminary for this particular piece I did in acrylic because it dries really fast and I can do some fun layering with the paint and cool textures and stuff, which it's hard to do. I can do it with oil, it just takes a lot longer, like days longer. So I've been recently as in the last few years, experimenting with how to do that a little faster. And one of the answers was to use acrylic, which of course I have plenty of experience doing that too. It's nice to just get practice in every medium for that reason. Let's make sure that that neck lines up. This piece is meant to be a little more illustrative, so I don't mind if I take some liberties with some things. But I do want it to be authentic for the most part, you know? So I want to make sure I get that. This fretboard might be a little wider. I just got to slowly pick at it and chisel away, very much like a sculpture. You set it up and you chisel it away and you add a little more and you pull it away. And let's get rid of some of that hand then. Since I'm moving the neck down a little, gotta move the hand down with it. Yeah, and then the head will be about here, actually. Okay, I lost my sort of golden colored cloud brush, but I need it now. Let's see if it's going to be like that. And that will change once I really figure out what color the background is. I don't know yet. I mean, I know approximately, but not totally. Okay, she's got a tiny little violin. That's got a plane there. And we don't really see much of that plane. But we see that little notch that comes out there. Just slowly chiseling away this violin. Okay. I picked a good spot, hopefully, to start the Instagram feed because that's only an hour long. They don't let you do any longer than that as far as doing a live stream. And possibly around 4-ish, I might have to stop the stream entirely because I have a landscaper guy coming. So that might, that's kind of how I planned this. And if I feel like I might pick it up again later after all that's done. All right, let's get a little more Boom, boom. That's going to be a little narrower. Boom. Ah, ah. Now this might be a little more the proper sort of brownish red color, whatever this violin is. We might get a little bit of her face color on there. Yeah, we'll get some of her flesh tone here. Pokes in a little further. Oh yeah, a bunch of brushes. Absolutely. I've been doing this for a long time. Saves me a lot of time. I used to just use like 2 of each size. I'd have a light one and a dark one, and I'd sort of go back and forth. But I'd still have to wash them enough. I just gradually started increasing the handful size of my brushes. And man, it's super helpful. You know, I've got like sometimes even in the same, like, you know, browns, I've got a you know, sort of medium brown, a light brown, a dark brown, blues. I got all those, you know, usually a red brush. I could have one all by itself because that color is really hard to share. It doesn't play nice with other colors. It's a little greedy. And sometimes each brush sort of can move around a little bit as far as what colors I'm using for it. Maybe this will get a little darker here. And here as well. But this will be sort of underneath. You can see that because it's suspended. And I think it comes out a little further. Yeah, a little darker. Which means this shadow has to go a little further too. That's tough because that's going to be this really great light diffraction. Some diffraction action right here. Boom. Where the light is wrapping around that object because it's right in front of that light source. Diffraction action. And then I can come back with that, this light color here. I used to work cross street from a Bend. That's awesome. Nice. Yeah, a Bend is still going. The physical locations is closed for the moment, but we're still doing internet stuff, streaming. Obviously, we're doing. I'm doing a solo show with them next month, based on of all small pieces. So if you like my work, you know, follow a Bend Gallery, and you'll see my stuff in their solo show next month of all smaller, like, you know, 12 by 16 or smaller, and hence more affordable, you know. That's kind of the goal there. Doing a little bit of this F-hole. It always sounds like a swear word. Your face is an F-hole. Why don't you do your own F-hole? It always sounds like I'm not, you know. It's just, never mind. That's the teenager in me. That's my nieces and nephews making silly comments. Right, Shannon? Your kids would say that. Jane plays the viola. Does she? Yeah, check your Ethel. There's a little bit of a bridge there. Maybe there'll be some super sweet light here. Refracting right around the F hole. Alright, enough of that. It's hard painting and talking. I feel like I have to entertain everybody. It would get a little darker down here because her face might be casting a little bit of a shadow. A little darker here. To have a reference, yes, I have both a photo reference from a model and a sketch that I've done. And, you know, I found a picture of a violin at a good angle that I like. That stuff is helpful to make sure I'm getting it authentically. Right? Yeah. Oh, silly humor. Keeps us going. This might be a little lighter here. Soften that edge a little bit. Then the head of this, I could finally do a little darker shadows there. That would actually have a little bit of lighter plane up there and right there. Maybe we'll do a super light plane because it's right against those clouds. And I always love tuning pegs. Make sure I keep the perspective right. Tuning peg. Tuning peg. And they're sort of offset. There's one right there. And there's one like here. Tuning pegs are a fun little character. I'm gonna make them a little longer because I can. Longer there. They help to show the perspective of the violin too. Okay, hi there guys. 12 people watching, 13 on Instagram, 7 on the other channels. I'm Christopher Clark, if you didn't know that. Some of you are not watching on any of my channels, so you might not. You can follow me personally on Christopher Clark Art on Instagram or Facebook. This painting is available for sale from A Bend Gallery. So there should be links in comments. I believe Dave has Dave from A Bend has the painting for sale right there on his site. You can just go to abendgallery.com. It's A-B-E-N-D, A Bend. Like there's a bend in the road. And then, yeah, I'll be posting links on my social media as well. Give her a little more eyelash there. I might play with that hair. Is that in the right spot for where I want it? Maybe I can give a little more hair up here. and maybe a little more. Move it up forward a little bit. I was hoping to have it like right there. I learned the name of this. I forgot it though. The top of your head, that point, has a name. And in all my study, I never ran across anyone who talked about that. Just the, you know, the crown of the head, but there's actually a scientific name for that spot. Like, oh, I know that spot. That's the pointy of the head spot. Yeah, a bend is a fabulous gallery, I agree. Yeah, right. Painting is the entertainment, so no pressure. Oh, good. Yeah, I only have to make the painting awesome. I don't have to be funny or anything. That takes a lot of pressure off. It's fun when I talk and stuff. You know, you guys want to hear what I'm thinking when I'm doing things. I know you want to hear random details about my life. So, you know, why not? I could do a little bit of highlight on the dress there because it's turning a plane right in front of us. And then here, there too. Vertex. What does that mean? Vertex, is that a gallery? I have no idea. I was thinking about a bend. A bend is also awesome. Okay, let's work on other parts of the painting now. I think that's good. I haven't done her hands. Okay, hands, that's what I gotta do. Gotta see the bow. Wait, because I gotta make sure. That's just white there. That's not a big deal. So that will be fine to paint that bow across there. Hopefully no one will totally wig out because the bow is not exactly perpendicular to the violin. It would be more like, you know, we're taking some liberties here. Maybe she's an amateur violinist. She's not a super mega pro. We won't hold it against her because it's so whimsical. Maybe it's a different way you play the violin in her world. I don't know. The Calvaria? That's not what it's called. The Calvaria. Oh, I guess two people said it at the same time. Just kidding. Yeah, this crown point where, you know, where your hair sort of swirls back there. The Calvaria. Okay. There we go. I learned something new. I got a new wrinkle on my brain now. Thank you guys for that. Okay, these hands, when I did my sketch, I struggled with these. These are tough. Really interesting. It's a very specific position. And I have to figure out where's the hand and where's the wrist and where the fingers start. A little more. There we go. Let's say these can be knuckles here. That hand is in shadow for the most part, that half. It's a little too pink. I can put the bow there. So it's like going to be a little off. It won't be exactly perpendicular. The world at large, I'm hoping, won't care. All you violinists can crucify me later. Jane will wig. Uh-oh. Well, tell her it's my fault then. Tell her what she can do to the F-hole. I'm sure if you tell her I actually said that, she'll forgive me because she'll think it's awesome. these fingers all sort of splayed out on the bow handle here. Got a knuckle there. That knuckle is not really in shadow, but that one is. That one is. With a little bit of a highlight on it. See, here's where I'm going to get 3 brushes in this same flesh color family. Dark. Because here's this finger here. I'm going to group those 2 fingers together because that always looks better. Often looks better. This half of the hand is in shadow. I can soften this edge here a little bit anyway. That should be a different color, because I should do a transitional color there. If I was a good artist, that's what I would do, so I will. I think that can afford to be a little more purple than there. Yeah, and this one might be a little more pink. See, I'm just sort of floating around sometimes to different parts of the painting. Maybe this is a little bit of a muscular indication. Vertex was a different part of the skull. Oh, I see. I'm like, oh, is Vertex a gallery? Vertex Gallery. That sounds like a cool place. All right, here's... Now those will be a little longer. Yeah, it's off a little bit. It's not terrible. Tell Jane to calm down. Yeah, these fingers will be grouped together. Usually works really well to group together the middle 2 fingers. And then that's the, we'll say, the inside of that hand. Do I have a dark green brush? Probably somewhere. I did. There's the inside of that finger. There we go. Delicate little tiny hand. Okay. Let's bring in, I keep noticing little tiny anatomical things. Bring that lat in a little further. There we go. Well, I got some lovies on that one. Thanks, guys. Might have to adjust these fingers as I add the bow, which is going to be like that. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. It'll be close. It's got to pass on that side of the bridge, though. Faux show. Alright, let's go ahead and do that bow right now. Okay. This is, as Bob Ross would call it, the bravery test. You're going to draw something right on top of your nicely drawn thing. Let me pull up a picture of a girl holding a bow in her hand, just so I can really get it right, because I know people freak out. And I am not a violinist. I'm a guitar player, so guitarist, I guess you'd say. just to make sure I got it in the right spot. Okay, where was I? Ruler. Put a little bit of medium so it glides a little better. Let's say it's there. Boom, like that. Just in the tips of her fingers. Yeah. There, there, here, and of course, it's going to be a little lighter here because it's passing right in front of that light. Is that long enough? Could be a little longer. It's all right. All right. Well, you guys are looking at on Instagram. You guys are looking at the painting in reverse because I'm using my front camera on the phone, so it actually is the other way around, and I'm using with my left hand to paint. So that's just how. I could do it the proper way, but then I can't look back and see the phone and see what's going on. So I have to do it this way. So if it's weird, sorry about that. Sorry, but that's what I can do. Okay, can add more to here now. Now for the sort of second part of this is the actual bow itself. And there's always a little bit of a highlight right there. And a little darker right here as it sort of connects those two. That fun little shape. I always like that shape at the end of a bow. That little curve with the point on it. Now she's playing. La, 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 la. Who knows what she's playing? It's something beautiful we can all imagine. Let's put maybe a fun little highlight on there, because why not? Let's use a green. Maybe it would be like here. We'd see a little fun highlight there, just because. Maybe a little more green. There we go. Would we see a shadow of the bow? All these little things matter. On the violin itself, maybe a tiny bit there. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Awesome. Gal playing le violin. La violina. Shannon wants me to make a bunny face with my middle and ring fingers and my thumb. I have no idea what that means. Middle and ring fingers and your thumb. Middle, ring fingers, and my thumb. Like this? Like the bunny face? We taking requests now, apparently? Okay, I suppose I can start working on this dress now. I suppose I should take a picture of this. I can't because it's on my phone is being otherwise utilized for Instagram. Um, yeah, let's do the dress a little bit. Move this over so it doesn't run out of room there. You guys are looking at that plenty fine on. That's how to hold a bow. Oh, make a. Oh, I see. It's like Spider-Man almost. So I think I meant like do this thing, like bunny ears with my thumb and my fingers. Like no. Now this dress is going to have some fun, bright yellows right around the edge here, bright yellows and greens and stuff. This is where I can have some fun now. I've got a green. Let's hit that with some nice, fun green. As this gets a lot of this sort of rim light and stuff. All right, I need more of this picture now. Get rid of Violin Lady for now. I want more of this. More of my concept sketch, basically. Okay. Alright, you can show me how to hold a bow properly when I'm not worried about how to properly hold a paintbrush. Now here's where I might want to do some fun texture-y stuff with some of the paint here. It's a little too light in there. Do I have another green? No, but this dark red can be a fun alternative to that. We're getting some great rim light. So here's you can use I love these. I love flat brushes because I have so many options. That should be way lighter there. And this is going to be a little more blue as we go along. I want this to be a little more rough down here. Her fingers look good. Okay, you can get Jane in to check on that and make sure that I did it right. She can be my violin authority, even though she plays the viola technically. Same thing as far as the hand grip. As far as the kung fu grip. I want this to be a little more rough and disintegrating down here. What's going on here? Maybe we'll have a little more. It's a little too harsh green. Paint around those fingers nicely. There will be a couple folds, here and there. I want to preserve this awesome underpainting that I've done, so I don't want to kill that. And I want the cylinder to go down as we're looking down on her. I want this sort of dark. So we get a little more fun, abstract-y sort of stuff going on here. And then here I can do a couple, brush down. Didn't I just have a medium sort of green somewhere? This will do. Maybe a couple folds. And my trusty little fan brush, my little one, for which I can find no replacement. No one makes a little tiny fan brush this big. This little tiny guy here, I've had to put duct tape on it because I broke it. And no one makes one like this that I've seen. Jess, I can hear the violin. All right. My work here is done. So if you guys, incidentally, if you like my work, please follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Christopher Clark Art, all one word, on Facebook and Instagram. I've recently started a Patreon with another one of my galleries, where it's patreon.com/amazingartexpo. So please support us on there. So yeah, thanks for watching, all you guys. Instagram's got about 15 minutes left before it cuts off. So, and I think I'll pick this up again later, maybe tonight, after Landscape Guy is done. We're exploring xeriscaping our whole yard, which means a lot less water, a lot less maintenance. Doesn't mean rocks and cactus at all, which is a very common misunderstanding. Oh, there's Jane. Good, you gonna make fun of my person holding a violin? Bruh. Yeah, bruh. Thanks for sending me a picture. Looks good as it is. Okay. Appreciate it. It's close. Okay. Let's put a little more dark there. This has to be a little more wrappy like that. See, now I can use a slightly bigger brush. I don't want it to be totally pure green, so we'll mix some other colors in there also. So I get to sort of smush some paint around here. Yeah, I'm leaving a lot of this underpainting showing because it's awesome. I like it. Got a bunch of fun different varieties of textures going on there. Okay, and then here's where it, yeah. This dark color continues a little further. And here's where the birds are going to start to come out. Her dress is going to disintegrate into birds as it flies off into the distance there. Which I'll have to do last because I don't want to, I don't know. I have a sky to paint and birds to do. It's going to be tough to do those back and forth. Here I can do a little, this green gets a little lighter down here. can really abuse this brush and get in here and get all kinds of fun scratchy textures and stuff. Yeah, just because it's a brush doesn't mean you have to brush on the paint. Like, ooh, look, it's a brush. I can do whatever I want. I can smash it on there and scratch it. It's great. That sort of tailors off into there and tapers, not tailors, tapers. Let's do a little more dark here, and then maybe a little more pink, purple. As my birds will start to emerge out of that. Okay, that's good for the dress for now. I think that will make more sense when I have a sky to play against it. Right now I don't, so I might need to come back to that later. Let's do the bigger brushes for the sky now. I want to start around her head. Let's back this camera up a little bit so you guys can see. There we go, the whole thing. Ooh. Stretch out just for a second. Can't forget to stretch, or your neck and your shoulders just go to hell. And you gotta hydrate. Always hydrate. Oh, I didn't do this hand yet. I gotta do that one before I get sucked into that sky. Breathe out. Okay, Instagram's got about 10 minutes left. So if I'm not watching and you guys get cut off, thank you so much for watching. And I'll probably pick this up later. If not, just follow Abend Gallery and you'll see it again. Next time I finish this broadcast, to finish this painting, I need my stick. Where's my stick? She's gonna have a finger here, which means I gotta bring that wrist down a little bit. This wrist has to come back a little further because I moved her hand down. Ooh, so I can breathe you in. That finger's there. I think finger there, and then we'll do 3 fingers here. Yeah, I need way more wrist. I'm not singing along with you. If everything would ever be this real forever. The hand comes all the way to there. If only thing I'd ever be this good again. Only thing I'd ever ask of you is when you promise not to stop when I say when. She sang. I don't have a white brush anymore for this guy. I just dropped my brush on my palette. It's good. We're good. I need to bring this in a little bit. We don't see any of this. Maybe just a thumb is all we're going to see there. And I wonder if the only thing would ever be this real forever. If everything would ever be this good again. Only thing I'd ever ask of you is got to promise not to stop when I say when. She sang. A little lighter there. Okay, now I can get some more specific on those fingers. I need this white. Thankfully her hand passes right in front of a very bright section of cloud here. So it's easy to fill that stuff in. Spoon Man. Oh, my Spotify is playing a lot of Chris Cornell today. With your voice, speak the rhythm all alone. There's that finger there. Come together with your hands, save me. Come together with your hands, save me. Save all my friends are brown and red. Okay, knuckle, and then this hand should be a little more red. Come together with your hands, save me. Come together with your hands, save me. Save me. Save me. Save me. Come on, let me up. Come on. Ooh. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, Instagram might have just a couple minutes left. And then for the rest of y'all, I'm just going to wait until I hear the doorbell ring. Or someone's going to text me or something. I suppose I could start the stream up again if you guys want. I got the phone here. If I have to cut it off suddenly, that's why though. So, what do y'all think? Instagrammers, y'all want to keep this going? And then when my doorbell rings and landscaper guy comes, then I'll have to cut it off. Whew. Okay. Let's do... Come on, I get out. Come on, I get out. A little more of a shape on that finger. And a little more. Bring this in a little more. Spoon Man, come together with your hands, save me. Come together with your hands, save me. Save me with your hand. Feel the rhythm while you can't spoon man. Checking the perspective on the old violin. I could bring that in a little bit. It's a tiny little thing that needs to be constructed nicely. Just tap the paint in there. Tap-a-roo. Okay, very cool. Okay, good. I got our hands done. Let's get back to where we were with this. The sky is happening. Okay, definitely going to have a lot of bright white. This is the brightest part of the piece, is these bits in here. Because this is where the sun, presumably, is passing right behind these clouds. Might have to get inside that arm and paint a little more there. The color of this white is going to change as we get further down here. But I can fill in this bright value for now. And up here too. Here's the edge of these clouds where it's like super bright. Rim light around those clouds there. This is where it's going to be a lot more loose and a lot less defined. If I don't kill that bow. And then down here too. See, now that I got these values and stuff right, this will make a lot more sense on how to fill in the rim light around this dress. And there's actually a little bit of cloud underneath there, which I will use a smaller brush for. It's a little sort of yellowish. Yeah, there's a little touch of green in this cloud, even in this bright part here. I gotta make sure I get that. I designed it that way. I did not, actually didn't find a random picture of cloud. I actually painted the whole thing as a concept from scratch. So Instagrammers are still here. Maybe Instagram hasn't set the timer. I thought I did it around 3 o'clock. So it should be, it counts down like 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds left until your stream is over. Oh. Well, we'll see what happens there. I can do a little more here. that's coming out of there a little bit, and then this actually, maybe you can do that to connect those together. Her hair could have some more rim light, but I could do that later. This is where I got to do some fun brushy stuff. You know how I like fun brushy stuff. Lose that edge a little bit more with this nice, awesome yellow transitional color. There needs to be some yellows in here too. Super hot yellow right at the edge of this sunlight cloud area. Thank you all for watching again. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, it's Christopher Clark Art. Please look me up. I'm streaming today for a band gallery in Denver. Been with them for like 6 months or so. I did a solo show with them in January. I was their solo artist. So thanks for attending that one if you came. We did pretty well at that show. Sold a lot of pieces, which is cool to get some new collectors and stuff. If you don't know about me at all, as far as my art, I'm also licensed with Lucasfilm and with Marvel. I do work for them. I was in Epcot Center in January doing their International Festival of the Arts with my Star Wars art there. I do a lot of Comic-Cons and those types of shows every year. So this is more of my fine art stuff that is not necessarily part of a fandom. But I am a big fan of all that stuff. Oh, there goes Instagram. Well, share to story. Oh, no, delete, share to story. There we go. The buttons are so close to each other. Okay, that'll tide them over for a while. I'll start that one up later again. Get some of this more hot yellow color into these clouds. Where is this going now? This should kind of blend together a little more. Here's where the light changes from yellow to more green blue. Though there is a little more of this light value still here. Cloud, cloud. This is more like the opening in between the clouds. And I've got to make these look like clouds. They get smaller as they go into the distance. And we'll do a little bit of rim light. There's going to be a few clouds sort of making this a foreground. Means these all need to be behind that. Again, I'm keeping my paint a little translucent to pick up that underpainting, because I love the underpainting, and I painted it like that way on purpose so that y'all could see it, not to cover it up entirely. So it's a little more gold here. All these colors and patterns and textures and things, I want those to remain. Okay. Do I have this can be my sort of, no, we'll keep this as a yellow brush. I might need it. This can be my sort of light orange cloud color. Light orange, yellow, touch of green. This value is not quite dark enough. And then I can lighten, let's say I just want those to connect. And I can paint around and sort of through my subject at the same time. Okay, let's get another brush here, a bigger brush. Let's put a little bit of medium on this so it's not so opaque. I'm not liking how opaque this is turning out. Yellow, gold, a little bit of green. Can blend some of those clouds together. That might get a little lighter, like here. And here's where I can hit that with some yellow again. Maybe they overlap a little bit. Yeah, this gets a lot more light and evens out a bit more. I can sort of coalesce all these textures together. And I can hit it with a little bit more orange here. A little bit of medium. Maybe a touch of some pinkish blue or something. A little more orange. Never time at all. Can use this same color over here too. You change the less you feel tonight. Get some of this yellow back here. Toward this sun area, it's got to be really yellow. And it gets more orangey pink as it gets away. And this clouds are going to have a fun little swirly quality to them. That could be a little higher. This is my white brush. Get some of that yellow. I found Williamsburg makes a great yellow color. It's called Nickel Azo yellow. I think it's one of my favorite colors they make. It's a really rich, dark gold yellow. Let's lift this up a little bit. I don't necessarily want the clouds to be sort of undulating that much. So this can tie right into her arm and it bleeds right over. Swirly quality? Oh, sure, in Texas. Different kind of swirly quality. It's not one big swirl, you know. Let's do a little more rim light around the edge of that. I can use this sort of greenish orangey color that I made here as this spreads out. Maybe it's a little more red and or green here. We'll say a little touch more pink, a little more medium. And sort of scratch that on. Yeah, it's the right value. This could be a little brighter through here, maybe. Maybe there's a touch that pokes through there like that. And there too. Yeah, it's fun. Maybe it goes off the canvas panel, whatever. So I don't paint on canvas, but I still use the analogy. You know, it's not literal. I still talk about, you know, putting your idea on canvas or whatever. Kind of funny. A little bit of blue. This kind of gets purpley. Alright, let's do this. And I'm leaving some of this metallic-y gold stuff visible also. It's kind of fun. A little more paint there. I don't want it to look too distressed. Okay, let's stand back and look at this because I haven't done that in a while. Those are the clean ones I haven't used yet. Those are all the ones I'm using now. Let's stand up and stretch a little bit. Ooh. I finally have a massage schedule for next Thursday. Going to a friend's house who does it. Ooh. Let's look at this in the mirror. Looking good. Yeah. Gotta step back and look once in a while. Just gonna stand here for just a quick second. Oh. Okay. Yeah, if you guys like more of this live streaming, I'm doing a lot of it these days. So please follow me on whatever channel you're watching on. And if you want to find me otherwise online, it's Christopher Clark Art. I paint, you know, surrealism, sort of fantasy, stuff like this. Maybe with it lately with a tiny touch, little bit of like anime quality illustration. I have also painted quite a bit of anime recently, a lot of pop culture stuff, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Alice in Wonderland, Lord of the Rings. I'm doing the whole Lord of the Rings series. I have 4 paintings that I'm working on, so I'll be streaming all those live as well. So please follow me if you want to watch those. That'll be super fun. Here's another sort of cloudy cloud happening. And here, yeah, it's getting more pink. And I think it's getting a little lighter. I hear some artists criticize for, you know, you to use more paint, pile the paint on there. I see a nice variety of amounts of paint by a lot of artists that I know. Sometimes you use a lot, and sometimes you use a little. I've been finding a fun balance. This could be lighter here, as if it was, I guess, this sort of continuing just a little bit through there. Yeah, there we go. And then here's actually, I have this book on Maxfield Parrish, one of my favorite artists, guy from the, you know, early through mid 1900s. I'm sure you've seen his work if you don't recognize his name, but he did a lot of, all his painting was layered with translucent layers of paint. But he would do one color at a time, and then layer them on. And then he would start with blue on a white canvas, let it dry entirely, varnish it with a layer of varnish, and then let that dry, and then do another color. Like, you know, the next color might be yellow. Do it all, and he would put yellow in all the places that required yellow. And then let that dry, and so forth through every single color. He didn't ever like just add green. He would add blue at first and then yellow, and you know, I don't know how many colors he would layer, but it was a lot. And it's, you know, very labor intensive, very time intensive process, but his paintings had this translucent quality to them that nobody else has ever been able to do. I'm sure you could if you studied that technique and did it exactly like him. I like to think about that kind of stuff when I do my painting. I like these transparent layers where you can see the colors and stuff underneath. His real color is really saturated. Yeah, I believe so. It would be yeah, really intense saturated color that he would layer, and that's how you could get more gray tones, is by layering, opposite colors on top of each other and stuff. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I started thinking about doing that kind of thing, having layers of color that built up and you could see through them. And then some places where I need to, I can cake it on, sure, but not everywhere. That's where I started playing with different interesting ways to do underpaintings with texture and color and letting it dry like that. Let's fill in. I need some more lighter values that I don't have yet. I need them here in these. All right, what color is that? Sort of a greenish, almost yellowish greenish something. Way lighter than that. Yeah, see here, I'm going to start getting and I lost my entire white brush, but I can go here instead. So usually the lighter the paint gets, the lighter, the thicker the application. So this is fairly thick for these bright highlights here. Yeah, we see a little bit of the blue sky coming through here, but it's the point where the sky is almost yellowish. It's that kind of blue, because it's so close to the sun that you can't quite tell which one it is. This is kind of a nice blend between, kind of an impressionist approach and a little more realistic, delicate brushstroke quality. Definitely love the impressionist movement of painting. Because of their brushwork and their treatment of light had never been done that way for the first time. They were really rebellious too with their sort of movement in general, which is cool. All right, now here I get a little bit. This is why I couldn't really finish the dress yet, because the dress and the background are the same thing. That your subject and the thing behind it are the same. You need to paint them both at the same time. I've taken a lot of art classes and studied with some really great artists. There's so many students who will be working on a piece. They'll doing a portrait in class of a model or something, and they'll be working on the face for hours, and behind it's a completely blank white surface. And finally, when they've rendered the face, they're done, they're like, okay, what do I do now with the background? I'm like, that's something that you address from the very beginning, because there is no background. You call it the background as far as reference for how far away it is, but it is no less significant than the rest of the painting. and it should be tackled at the same time as the rest of the painting. Leaving the background until the end means you've missed a lot of your painting process. I'm going to touch yellower here. I don't want it to be too sort of a garish green though. See, here's when the sky gets a little more green and blue. Here's some fun blue green right here. Come as you are, as you were, as I know there'll be. Take your time as a friend. I don't know the words to. Take your time, hurry up. Choice is yours, don't be late. Take a rest as a friend, as I know memory. Spotify's playing me some sweet old 90s stuff today. This is my jam. Oh. So to bleach as I want you to be, as a trend, as a friend, as I know. Let's do a little more of this. These clouds back here. And I swear and I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun. A little pink, a little green, a little fun stuff happening here. These are real abstract, mushy back here. Gets a little more green, purple. It's all these fun details and textures and things that are back there. Keeping those, because I like it a lot. Memory, memory. Yeah, I swear I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun. Don't have a gun. Memory. A little bit of more of this purpley. But suddenly there's a bit of orange right here for some reason. That's fun. And it comes back to the purplies. It's a little dark. Can just grab some paint that I've already got floating around there. Borrow areas of paint from your own painting. Well, that looks great. I'm just now looking at it in the feed on my computer helps me to really see what it looks like, or just gives me another perspective on it, you know. Let's go there. It's like looking at it in a mirror, which I, periodically stand up and go do. sort of adding some atmosphere too to these. Add maybe a little separation there. And I can smooth this out as much as I want later with a fan brush or something. Let's do a little more red here. That looks great. Let's say this is just borrowing this color that's here. That gets real thin as they get like off into infinity, you know. Where's my green? Green. It's light and green and maybe a little bit more blue here. I should be doing it over there. I try to mix my colors and keep them in the same area. As the paints are on the palette, like my piles of paint, you know. It's good to keep your stuff organized. Here's this sort of turns this into a foreground by lightening those values up a little bit. Can lighten this up a little. It's sort of yellowish green. Eating into that dress a little bit, that's all right. Okay, some of these clouds have a little more of a harsh rim light, which I can try to go for now. Could give them some little more definition. Maybe a little more down here too. So you don't want it to be all blurry. You got to have some crisp edges to hang on to, something. Let's sort of finish this over here. Left this hanging. And I didn't do any green over here yet. I need to help show to balance out the other side there. To the floor again. Same old trip and on my way. So I made a big mistake, trying to see what's my way. Mocap, how's it going? Thank you guys for watching. Please follow me online if you'd like. Christopher Clark Art for Facebook and Instagram. This painting is available for purchase from Abend Gallery. If you're watching on one of Abend's channels, then just send them a message. Dave will get back to you and you can buy this piece. We'll also have prints available for sale soon. I can send a link there where to buy those. post those on my social media later. Or I think you can just go to ChristopherClarkArt.com. They should have them there too. And also, we've started a Patreon page. It's American. I'm sorry, I always want to say that. It's Amazing Art Expo. Amazing Art Expo is our Patreon page. If you want to check that out, it's patreon.com/AmazingArtExpo. If you want to support some great artwork and support my art in general and the gallery, and since we can't really do shows anymore, we've had to find other ways to get my art out there, and we're going to start bringing on other artists as well. We've worked with some other really good ones, and we're going to start bringing them onto that Patreon page, having them do streams like this, discounts on buying artwork. So please check out Amazing Art Expo for Patreon. If I would, could you? Let's do a little bit more lighter there. Oof. Okay, this is looking good. Let's stand back and look at that. Okay. See, I can just see stuff that I want to just fix just by walking away from it. Might be getting close for me to take a break time and also take care of this landscaper stuff. Hopefully we'll have a nice xeriscaped lawn soon, or yard, so we don't have to water it as much. Saves water, saves us a lot of energy and time. Kind of depends on how much it might cost. We really have no idea. It's kind of a thing I've been wanting to look at for a long time, and someone's finally coming down to take a look at it. Let's do a little more pink here. I like when clouds suddenly have like some light passing through them. A little color, Let's fill in this crack. The cracks are nice, but not when they're like too obnoxious. I wanted to be there as a helper, not a detractor, Ooh, almost 5. Okay. See some things I want to blur. Let's take a break. I can see stuff. Stop painting and just look. And stretch. Ooh. Yeah, I love all the stuff underneath the paint here. I'll give you guys a tour if you want. This is kind of fun if I don't drop the camera, which I've done many times doing this. Here we go. So we'll get a close-up tour here. Here's our main character playing La Violina. And then here you can see clouds and all kinds of cool stuff happening through there. And of course, this is darker. The camera auto white balances and lightens it up way more than it is. That's okay though. There's her dress. A lot of cool stuff happening in there. Textural, brushy stuff. Here's some more of these clouds over here that I just did. A lot of brush work. It's a fun balance. Fun, creative brush work. Very expressive. on, mixed with what is like, more careful, subtly rendered forms. So that makes a cool balance, I think. And then her dress will sort of disintegrate into birds flying off into the distance. This was once again some random sketchbook sketch that I did that I liked enough to turn it into a painting. Okay, I didn't drop it this time. Good. Okay, so there's that. All right, I might take a break and end the stream so I can maybe stretch a little bit, get something to eat, and then check on my appointment this afternoon. So I might try to start this up later, see how I'm feeling, because we're, gonna make something to eat, and then it's like you start getting settled in for the night. Like, I don't want to go back to work. So we'll see. Either I'll do it tonight or tomorrow. I'll finish the piece. So thank you guys all for watching. I'm Christopher Clark. You can follow me online at Christopher Clark Art. That's on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks, guys. Raqueria. Am I saying that right? And then, please follow whatever streaming service you're watching us on. Follow us, and you can get more notifications when I stream next. I have 4 Lord of the Rings paintings I'm working on. Those will be my next big projects after this one. I'm concepting those right now, in between doing this one. And then this piece is available for purchase from Abend Gallery. So you can email david@abendgallery.com, or just message him on whatever, if you're watching on one of his services, or message anybody and we'll get you in touch with somebody. And then, we'll have prints available at christopherclarkart.com to buy prints of this piece. And then follow us on Patreon if you want to subscribe and support our gallery and our work. It's patreon.com/amazingartexpo. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time I do this, either tonight or tomorrow. So thanks so much, guys.